The execution of Alan Eugene Miller on September 26, 2024 marks a significant chapter in the annals of American capital punishment, not just for its method, but for the legal and ethical debates it reignited around the death penalty. Miller, convicted for the brutal murder of 3 individuals in 1999, became only the second person in history to be executed by nitrogen hypoxia, a method hailed by some as humane, but criticized by others as potentially cruel and unprecedented. Alan Eugene Miller's path to death row began on a morning in August 1999. In Pelham, Alabama, fueled by what he believed were rumors about his sexuality spreading among his colleagues, Miller took a drastic step. He first shot Lee Holdbrooks and Christopher Yancey, his co-workers, at a heating and air conditioning distributor. Not content with this act, he then drove to another location where he killed Terry Jarvis, his former supervisor. These killings were not spur of the moment, but appeared calculated, driven by perceived need for retribution against those he felt wronged him. Miller's journey towards his execution was fraught with legal and logistical challenges. Initially sentenced to death, his execution was scheduled via lethal injection in September 2022. However, this process was botched when executioners could not find a suitable vein for the lethal injection, a common problem in recent years due to the difficulty in obtaining necessary drugs and the physical conditions of the inmates. The failure prompted a shift in execution protocols in Alabama, leading to the adoption of nitrogen hypoxia as an alternative. Nitrogen hypoxia involves the inmate breathing pure nitrogen, which displaces oxygen in the lungs, leading to unconsciousness and eventually death due to oxygen deprivation. Advocates argue that this method is humane because it should render the inmate unconscious quickly, without pain. However, the process has never been tested in a controlled environment for human executions, leading to significant debate over its implications. The use of nitrogen hypoxia in executions has sparked widespread debate. Critics, including international human rights bodies like the UN, argue that this untested method could amount to torture if the process doesn't go as planned, potentially causing distress or prolonged suffering before death. Miller's execution became under scrutiny not only for the method, but for the broader implications of using experimental procedures in capital punishment. Legal challenges were mounted, focusing on the 8th Amendment's protection against cruel and unusual punishment. Despite these challenges, the execution proceeded, reflecting Alabama's determination to carry out the sentence using this new method. On the day of his execution, Miller's final moments were marked by his assertion of innocence. The execution itself involved Miller being fitted with a mask through which nitrogen gas was delivered. Witnesses reported movements and sounds from Miller, suggesting discomfort or distress, which fuels the ongoing discussion of the humaneness of nitrogen hypoxia. Alan Miller's execution by nitrogen hypoxia represents not just a legal event, but a moment in evolving narrative of capital punishment in the United States. It highlights the deep divisions over death penalty methods, the challenges in implementing a humane execution, and the broader ethical considerations of taking a life in the name of justice. As the second person executed by this method, Miller's case will likely be studied not just for what it was, but for what it might mean for future executions, setting a precedent that might either refine or redefine the boundaries of permissible punishment in modern society. This case, therefore, serves as a poignant reminder of the complex interplay between law, ethics, and the fundamental human questions about punishment and redemption.